Welcome to Shaun Tamane's channel. Thank you for the part one, Shaun Tamane. Now moving forward, now I've done something which I've dedicated to some of you lazy bones, because I know some of you do not really apply for university, and now you're stressing because you might have received your results and you realize that, oh, I actually did well. Now you are under pressure because you want to be in an institution of higher learning, but you did not apply for it. Now, let's look at the breakdown of the options that you have after grade 12, focusing on both thorough planning and exciting opportunities. For one, we have further education, and I know you did not apply, but I'll just mention it for future reference, that is. Firstly, you have an opportunity to undertake studies at a university where you would pursue a bachelor's degree in a field of your interest. You can choose from a wide range of programs, including the arts, sciences, business, engineering, and many more. This can open doors to various career paths and opportunities. And I think that you saw in my previous video, I was referring to the Northwest University prospectus. So it is important to align your performance during grade 12 with the qualification that you would like to pursue. And I think I gave you a thorough breakdown of an APS score. So for you to know which university you want to study in, you also need to know what are their subject requirements and what are their APS requirements. Because at times they have specific subject requirements. You might meet the APS score, but not meet the specific subject criterion in which it would want you, for instance, to have a level 6 on mathematical literacy and you just have a level 4. So you see how that would disadvantage you, or disadvantage the prospect of you having to form part of that course or program in that institution. One other option that you have is to rewrite for your specific subjects in which you want to improve. For instance, your mathematical literacy, you want to move from that lower level to a higher level, you could rewrite. That is an option that you have. But it would actually mean that you would have to take now a year to prepare thoroughly so you could write at the end of the year. But I think they offer opportunities in which you could write within 3 months rather of the year or the academic year. So you should look out to such an opportunity. You could also go to college. And I understand with some of the things that people say, you would assume that a college is below you. And I mean, these are conversations that we have. But actually, colleges are very good, especially for practical training. They're very good, and they give you close access to certain organizations or industries where you could be somebody who's much preferred than a Shaun Tamane who did a degree in political science and international relations. And you could really make something out of that diploma and that first-hand practical experience that you would gain from a college, like Vuselela for one. College, you can obtain a diploma or certificate in a specific field. This is a great option if you're looking for a more practical and job-oriented approach, as I said earlier. Now, you could also look out to technical or vocational training. Gain specialized skills in trade or profession through vocational training programs. This can lead to immediate employment opportunities in the fields of engineering, IT, healthcare, and skilled trades. You could also look out to taking a gap year. I would not necessarily advise you to take a gap year, but some circumstances, allowing or not allowing, would grant you to actually take a gap year. And I understand some of the challenges that you might have coming from a poor background, that is, maybe, or not having had prepared enough in terms of applying for a university, applying for NSFAS. So I would understand maybe the challenge that you might experience there. So it would be advisable to take a gap year. But don't just take a gap year. Do something within that year that you'll be staying at home. For one, could take a break, right? Take off a year for travel, volunteer, or simply relax and recharge before starting further studies or entering the workforce. This can be a great opportunity for a personal growth and self-discovery. And this is partly important because I've noticed even with myself, we spend so much time in institutions where we are told we could make good lawyers, we could make wonderful doctors, we could make, these and these various professions. But during that period in which you are in the institution, you are not really developing yourself and you are not also working at finding yourself. So I understand maybe the difficulty that might arise as soon as you finish your MATRIC. You really do not know who you are. And it is advisable also to take a year or take time to actually get to know yourself. That is why it is important to travel, go through a period of self-discovery so you can really know and you don't make up those harsh decisions to enter into an institution of higher learning where you will receive NSFAS for one, but then you will be studying for a course that you really had no plan in studying. And I see this happening a lot where you would have applied for your LLB degree and your third choice, for instance, maybe it's sports sciences, and you end up having to do sports sciences. And on the second year, you feel as though you've wasted your time. So I understand how that might be a bit difficult and how that might also, I guess, take you off track a bit in terms of your future prospects. Now, one thing that is important to do is that you need to gain experience during your gap year. Use this time to gain valuable work experience through internships, volunteering, or part-time jobs. This can help you clarify your career goals and build your resume. And I think you do see that volunteering appears twice, both in your gap year, as well as maybe in taking an opportunity to go study. You need to volunteer because it will give you better background in terms of certain career choices. And it will also build your resume because one thing that is important that you realize post your qualification is that you need experience. So while you're at university or you're taking a gap year, it is important to volunteer at times to certain organizations because this will actually build your profile. Now, the most important thing to do as well is to explore different interests. Pursue personal interests or hobbies, learn new skills, or attend workshops and seminars. This can help you discover new passions and career paths. Here's one thing I did, but this is way after the qualifications and certain experiences that I've gained through working. I got into the habit of wanting to be a good entrepreneur or getting into that whole entrepreneurial journey and, having those entrepreneurial spirits. I did business management training with the National Youth Development Agency, which is the NYDA. And I also did financial management training with SETA. That is the Small Enterprise Development Agency. So these are things you could pursue, get into business, but also get these qualifications. And it's actually free. It's actually free to do such. So that's one thing that you could also get into by exploring your different interests.